If you want to get involved with Skillshare, I'll pop my link in the description and you get a month for free. Again, not affiliated, but I know you guys out there like a free option. So there you go, a free month with Skillshare for joining my code. So this morning we are going to carry on with Maple Story. So just going to launch Unreal Engine, enter Maple Small, which is the save on Unreal Engine, and away we go.
We can now right click on our tile set, and when we right click you can see here you have the option. Let us now start designing our environment. So to get started, let's go back to our tile map. And inside of here, if you have no tile set selected here to the side, as you can see on my screen, you can click on this small button. This is also where you switch between your background tiles and your normal tiles here. So let's start with these normal tiles for now. What I'm going to start with is just calling this layer for base. So I'm going to click F2, calling it the base layer, and inside of here we are going to paint. But before I paint, what I like to do here in the map heights, I like to add a bit more tiles as buffer tiles, because when our character is, you can imagine this is our map and these are the boundaries. When the character is standing here in the game and the camera is like this watching the character, the thing here beneath the map here will be dark, and we don't want the player to watch this bottom part here. I want the character to be standing in a way where the camera never goes below this line here. So I like to add a bit more tiles than what I have written here, just to have some buffer tiles so the camera never goes beneath the ground. So I like to add 10 tiles to the bottom here, and also 10 tiles to the top here, so the camera never goes above this line here. So what you can do is, so 10 plus 10 is 20 obviously, and it's 60. Something very cool in Unreal Engine, you can actually write plus 20 and hit enter, and it adds it automatically, and it says 60 now. I don't think we need a buffer here and here, because what I am going to do is I'm going to stop the camera when the player walks this way. I'm going to stop the camera here so it never goes behind this line, but we can always make it larger if we want to. Okay, so let's count here. We have added 10 buffer tiles here. So 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So over here at 50. So if we paint a tile here up at 50, so the buffer tiles go to up here and the actual tiles are above right here. So what you can do is just take these.
I just had to remember to right click to move around.
Tiles here and start from the left. So you can just here select multiple tiles. You don't have to select one tile at a time. You can select, click and hover and select multiple tiles at once, and you can place them here inside of our base layer that we have created. So now I have placed this. You can keep placing like this, but as a variety, I'm going to click Ctrl Z to undo. As variety, you can see you have a couple of them, so you can randomly choose.
Now I do note earlier he said there's not an easy way to delete, but you can just Ctrl and Z and it will delete packs of tiles. So let me just show you if that is right. So I'm gonna click and select all of that, and then if I click and drag and then Ctrl and Z, yeah, you see it's deleting all of those tiles. That's nice and easy. And then he's placing these tiles just above that line there. So just above, all the way to the left. Click. I'm just going to see what this looks like. Nice. click too far there. So multiple tiles, zoom in, just using the mouse wheel here. So multiple tiles, they're all different, and they all kind of go with each other, which is nice. So if I choose this one, this is the third design, they literally all go with each other. It's quite nice. Alright, let's see what he says next.
Choose another one like this and place it. You can choose a random one, place it. This gives the tiles a bit of variety, so you can see here you have a bit of variation and you can't tell that these are the same tiles. So I'm going to just select randomly here. It doesn't really matter which ones you choose, just to try to select random ones so we eliminate that repetitive patterns that we see sometimes in pixel art. So very good to have different tiles that you can place around. Okay, I'm going to speed up this process. I'm going to do this the whole way here. And you actually also have to do it all the way here. So just keep doing this. This will take maybe 5 minutes. All right, so now I'm finishing up here.
Right, I'm going to do exactly the same. Okay, so that looks fairly uniform. I'm actually quite happy with it.
I'm doing the last tiles. So now I have finished this bottom part here. Okay, so when you are done with this part, you're ready to create the grass up here. So down here for the grass, the same thing, you have some variation that you can add, and you can click and select all three of them. And remember also to select this top part, because if you click here, you can see you are missing the grass up here if you are not selecting this top part as well. So clicking both, select both this and this above it, so these 6 tiles, and then you can just like before, click here and select another variation and click beside it and just keep going until
yeah, so already I found a hack. So if I click over these tiles and do this, but I click over a blank space, so let's say inside that grid, I can delete really quick.
the coordinates. You don't have to do exactly like me, but if you want to, this is the coordinates I'm stopping with. You can do your own design, that is fine. You're not required to do the same thing. But what I want to do here, we have some ramps down here in the texture, and we want to add those tiles. I want to add a ramp here so we can have some variation. So again, you can click here and select like this here, and you can add the ramp up here. And then again, let's continue with the tiles, select those, and just continue just like before. Keep selecting a variation like this. And you can see it takes some time, but it's also, I think it's the fun part. You can be creative with the map you are creating, and you can create something cool looking. So we are missing some tiles up here now. So let's go ahead, just like before. Just let's fill those empty gaps. All right, so this part is done now. What I want to do as the last part is add a platform up here. So let us, again, to add a platform, let's select this bottom part. So selecting one of those, you can see you have variations here as well. So selecting the bottom part, I don't know, yeah, we actually need to select the bottom part here as well, because you can see there are some small tiles that are beneath this. So again, just like the grass where we select 6 pieces here, we have to select 6 pieces here as well. And for the platform, we just have to eyeball it, see what the character is. And I believe something like up here. And again, let's pick some variations and just add those together.
So he was at about 1641.
Remember to select all 6 and not just up here, because else you're missing the tiles down here. So select here, do some variations, and do the platform. I'm going to skip a little bit ahead. All right, so now that I have this long platform up here, you can add the grass, and just like before.
It doesn't really say, but I'm just going to continue.
Or just select what we did down here. Select variation. And now we are missing those tiles here to the right. I couldn't really find them. I tried and tried and I couldn't find them. But what we can do is just add some of those tiles to end this part here, because this is cut off, as you can see, and it's not looking good. And I don't really have the cutting part. These don't really work with this. So we have to do our own, and let's just use this one. So what I'm going to do, you can see here, if I select this and I add it on top of this, like here, you can see I'm deleting my current tiles. And this is not something we want to do. Remember, we had layers we could work with, so you can create a new layer. And let's call this one front. And with this front layer, we can now select these tiles here, for example. And for example, over on this side, you can see now you can click and add it, and you don't delete the tiles that you did before. And this is because now you're painting on this front layer. You're not painting on this base layer anymore. So remember to select this front layer and paint on top of it up here. And also select those tiles here, just the 3 down here. And let's add it on top of here. And you can see it kind of works. It's better than nothing. So now you have the tiles closing that cut here. And I'm going to select the next one, add it on top of it, and select that bottom part to go with this one. And now you can see we have a platform. It would be better if we had the closing tiles, but it's fine. It's only for practice. Okay, so the next thing you can add here is the background. And what we can do is add another layer, and I'm actually going to call it sky. I'm just going to use this layer just for the sky and put it, you can click on this arrow, remember, and put it in the back because we want this to be a background. And for the sky, remember, now you are inside of the normal tiles. If you want to switch to the background, again, you can click on this small button and you can switch between the background and the normal tiles. So going to the background, you have this small blue one. This is actually the sky. So just clicking on this one, clicking on G for the fill tool, or you can select it up here. Remember, you can select the tools up here. And then remember to click on the sky first, and in here you can click on top of here and you can see you fill the gap, and now you
Beautiful.
have the sky. Now what we can add here, it's a little bit bland, so we need to add some background items. Now you want to make a new layer, because if you paint, let's say you wanted to paint this grass, and clicking on B to select the brush tool, and you paint it here, you can see the sky is being removed because you can't paint on top of it. So let's create a new layer, and let me just call it background. And not really background, these are just backdrops. Let's just call it background, and let's see if we need to change the name of it. So let's try to.
So yeah, I'm going to do that, but I'm going to call mine features. Aha. Let's see what he does first.
To design something. So I'm going to start with this building. So just selecting all of this building here and just placing it somewhere here so it looks a bit interesting like this. Okay, so now we have this one, and you can even add a light pole here. So this is just about being creative. Try to do whatever you want. You don't really have to follow me here. I'm just trying to create things as I go. And I'm going to skip a little bit ahead. Just like before, just select whatever you want. Add it somewhere. Maybe you want to add this light pole up here. So try to do your own.
Right, okay. Remember that I can't put it there because this, where the white squares are, the white grid, will delete the tree. So I have to put it slightly over there. I want to add these flowers, I need to do it on a separate level. Look. So I can add these there. Maybe a box. Obviously if I put it there it will delete that box, but if I go back to that feature I can't even stack. Ah, that box is bigger. There we go. Stick another one of them behind that. Nope, that one don't work. That deletes that car, so if we go to features 2, oh no, features 2, what? Alright. What I'm doing here is just pressing Control and Z and Y just to go back to what I was doing. Any sky features? No. Do like this
thing, and I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, so I have added a couple of items. You can see my map looks like this now. So I have added this grass over here. I've just added it here to the side, so it looks a bit cut off and interesting. And I've added those items up here, the flowers, and just the ones I added before. So I don't like to add too much inside of the environment. I like to keep it simple because it will be clustered if you add too much to the environment, and it will not look good, in my opinion. So now we have
Yeah, I think that looks fine.
these minimal items that we inserted inside of an environment. Now what I want to do, I want to fill the background here so it's not too blue. I want to fill it with this large background. So go ahead and select this large thing here, just like that, and you can see you can place it around. Now we don't want to place it on top of our items here, so I'm going to add another layer here. I'm just going to call it BG for background 01. I believe we need to make 2 of them, and you'll see why. So BG01, BG02. I'm just going to move 02 beneath the 01. And this one, instead of calling it background, let's call it BG props. So background props or something like that. So clicking on the first one, the background 01. I don't want to add the whole thing up here like this. What I want to do is I just want to add it like this, so I only see the tree without all of this building down beneath it. So only seeing the trees and filling the background with it. So for the background 01, let's try to see if we can make it look interesting, something like this. And 02, I don't think we can still fill it with 01. Actually, we can fill it here. Let's actually fill 02 first. Click on 02. I just want to visualize it better. So something like this maybe. And let's try 01 again. And the reason why I'm not doing 02 again, because remember, you can't paint on top of your layers like this. So going back to 01, because 01 was over here, so now we can paint over here without affecting anything. So something like this. Yeah, I think that works. That looks good. So let's go back here. I'm just selecting the razor so I don't have to watch all of this. But you can see here now if the characters walk.
Okay, so getting a little bit fiddly. I'm going to keep mine there. Something's not working.
Over here, I've just added it here to the side so it looks a bit cut off and interesting. And I've added those items up here, the flowers, and just the ones I added before. So I don't like to add too much inside of the environment. I like to keep it simple because it will be clustered if you add too much to the environment, and it will not look good, in my opinion. So now we have these minimal items that we inserted inside of an environment. Now what I want to do, I want to fill the background here so it's not too blue. I want to fill it with this large background. So go ahead and select this large thing here, just like that, and you can see you can place it around. Now we don't want to place it on top of our items here, so I'm going to add another layer here. I'm just going to call it BG for background 01, I believe.
So where I called mine features, he called his background, but then changed it to BG props. And above sky, he has BG 1 and 2. So BG1.
I believe we need to make 2 of them, and you'll see why. So BG01, BG02.
So BG1, BG2, and then background. BG1, BG2, the BG prop.
I'm just going to move 02 beneath the 01.
Moves that below 01.
And this one, instead of calling it background, let's call it BG props. So background props.
So I've got exactly the same as him now. Ah, that's what I did wrong. I put it on the wrong layer. So yeah, sorry about the confusion. So yeah, now I've copied what he's done. I've added the background on the wrong layer. So let me remove that. So back to what I had before. That is now BG prop. BG props. I'm going to see if I can leave this in there this time. Props 2. Right, so one of my layers has sky on it for some reason. So hide sky, and you can still see I have sky. So go to BG1, hide BG2. Ah, so there we go. Accidentally BG props, I have sky. So let me remove that. Right, schoolboy error removed. Back to the video.
Or something like that. So clicking on the first one, the background 01. I don't want to add the whole thing up here like this. What I want to do is I just want to add it like this, so I only see the tree without all of this building down beneath it. So only seeing the trees and filling the background with it. So for the background 01, let's try to see if we can make it look interesting, something like this. And 02, I don't think... Okay, we can still fill it with 01 actually. We can fill it here. Let's actually fill 02 first. Click on 02. I just want to visualize it better. So something like this maybe. And let's try 01 again. And the reason why I'm not doing 02 again, because remember, you can't paint on top of your layers like this. So going back to 01, because 01 was over here, so now we can paint over here without affecting anything. So something like this. Yeah, I think that works. That looks good. So let's go back here. I'm just selecting the eraser so I don't have to watch all of this. But you can see here now, if the character is walking around, this is looking good. Our background is filled. You can, of course, I don't have clouds, but you could, of course, if to make it more interesting, add clouds up here. But I think that's okay. That's like when we walk around here, it doesn't really look bad and it looks interesting. You can even adjust your props here, the background props that you placed before. You can adjust them if you want to. And this was actually it for designing the environment. So the reason why I didn't add anything here, or maybe over here or over here, we could use some of these empty spots to add portals later on, so we can teleport to different areas, and I can show you how to do a portal system. And with that said, let's move on to the next lesson.
Okay guys, that was a little bit fiddly, but just so that you can see, I did try and copy him the best I could, and I still made mistakes. So it is always worth going back and just even reviewing this video, just to make sure that you've got the layers the right way round, and then just play with it. I mean, this is what my 2D game looks like at the moment, and it's alright. I might still play around with it to have something up here. So for instance, if I go to base layer 1, I might just want to add, or is it base layer 2? See, so I still need to play around with it, so I'm not quite happy. If I remove base layer, so 2 is there, I might just change Ah, so even that looks much better. Do we have a little bit of blue? Oh no, that's part of that building, that's fine. So yeah, I'm fairly happy with that actually. So just had to swap those layers over. And then guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.
Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my seat. Know that they ride or die.